Okay, we're recording now. So now, do we have something in our hands?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now, if you look at what you have, right, there is maybe, okay, let's individually mention what we have, what you have with you. Starting from, anybody can mention, just.
Okay. I have a little board.
A little board. Okay, okay, that's perfect. Anybody else?
An exercise book.
An exercise book. Okay, great. Who else?
All right. I have a jotter.
You have what?
A jotter.
A jotter. Okay, good, excellent.
I have a textbook.
A textbook. Okay, great. Someone's audio is cracking. Okay, great. So now, if we look closely, you will see that there are a lot of elements in front of it that is basically giving you or passing some sort of information, right? Telling you what this is, how you can use it possibly, right? There are patterns, colors, and everything that helps you like instantly identify what you're coding, right? So graphic design basically is communication.
Okay.
Basically communication, right? Yeah, the ability of a graphic designer to put one and two together to like say, okay, this is what this is, this is what this is, right? So now it is basically almost everywhere in our environment, right? On the road, in our house. Can you hear me?
Yes.
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 Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, great.
No,
So
I can't.
is your audio breaking?
Yes.
Okay, other people can hear me, so I think maybe you should like change the position where you are, okay? Okay, so now, as I was saying, so you can find it almost anywhere and everywhere, right? On the road, in your house, on your television, on your phone, on my screen here, as you can see, right? So there are a lot of things that you could just basically use to like communicate or pass on an information to someone when you're not there, right? So it helps us, it gives us a much broader view or a much broader scope of view, like to like understand how our world communicates, right? So now we'll move on to now how do designers how do designers make graphics? So designers achieve their goals by combining elements and principles of graphic design with a purpose, right? So if I want to pass on an information, let's take for instance now we're going to like take a look at a poster I just made this evening. Sorry, please, if someone is playing something there, please just tune it down. So like graphic designers put certain things together for a purpose. It could be for information purposes, like on the road, you could find signboards and everything that indicate the miles that you've actually gone on the road. Please turn off the volume. Please turn off your volume. Turn off your volume. Turn off your volume. Whoever is playing TV there, or whatever. Please, you're distracting us.
Then give me the number so I can call your children. I'll just ask them to let me talk to the little brother.
Oh, would you look at that? You never wanted to meet them and now you want to talk to them? No, Daniel, that is not how it works.
Come on. I just really want to talk to them.
Okay. I just muted the audio. Can we still hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes,
okay. Okay, great.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
so as I was saying, there are a lot of things that you find around you that helps you to like basically pass on an information, right? Now, I'd like to make use of my web browser. So let's just look at some things that you could basically say people used to pass on information. So wayfinding signs, right? So if you can see, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So now this is basically some of the basic signs we see everywhere. If you've ever been to a bank, you could see something like this, right? Or something
Yeah, we
like,
can.
or something like this, or something like this, right? So basically, this designer combined a couple of elements together to like pass on or let you know where you're going or where you are currently, right? You could also see some of these wayfinding signs on the front of a convenience room, probably in the bank, in a mall, in the market, and everything to tell you that, okay, fine, if you're a lady, you should go here. If you're a guy, you should go here, right? So you now see that the designer that made this combined several elements with the sole purpose of letting you know where you are or giving you directions, basically, just to give you directions, right? Now, we can also say now on let's just say for some of us that are medical students, I think there's some medical students amongst us, we could let's just say drugs packaging. Okay, so I'll use this one specifically. Okay, it's too small. It's too small. It's too small. I need something big. Still too small. But anyway, we can all see what's on my screen, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, take for instance this Self-Zeal, right? It's a drug, right? So I'm trying to find one that has illustrations of dosage and everything. I am yet to see one that has a good dosage. But just to like make my point clear, right? So you now see that it's not so fanciful. It's just plain and everything. It's just to tell you that this is, let me use one. This is Muscazone, right? And the Muscazone, now at the back or by the sides, you would see, okay, yeah, you can see something like 20 tablets that are inside this pack of Muscazone, right? Now, at the back, you also most likely going to see the dosage, the ingredients, the expiry date, the company that produces it, and every other thing. So this packaging design was actually made by a graphic designer, right? It was made by it was made by a graphic designer, right? So the purpose of the purpose the designer had in mind was basically to just pass on the information, letting you know what you have in your hand, right? What specifications of how you can use it, how many pieces of it are inside, when it's supposed to expire. Now, imagine, right? Let me see if I can find one of it that is blank. Okay, so now, okay, fine, yes, this will serve. Now, if you can see this top one, can we see the top one? Hello? Yes. Can we see the top one?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
yes,
fine.
sir.
Okay,
yeah,
now,
we can.
The one that is on top, right? If you look at it now, and maybe they put something like this here by the left, right? Inside it, nothing written on it. When you open it, you know it's a drug, but you don't know what drug it is or what it is for, right? So you would be at least maybe the craziest person, or maybe you're too desperate to like just take any drug that you see, knowing the harm or or how dangerous it can be to your health. So you now find out that designers are quite important in almost every aspect of life, right? Everything that you eventually get to use, even the clothes you wear, are made by a designer, or a designer is actually involved, right? At the back of your clothes, like you have some sort of tag at the neck of your clothes, right? That tells you what kind of material your clothes is, right? Whether it's something that you can wash with warm water or cold water, right? Are you still there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we're here.
Yes. So you now see that almost every aspect of your life, or every aspect of our lives, is like design is filled everywhere, almost everywhere. Okay, so designers achieve their goals, right? Whatever you decide to do, right? You're trying to communicate or pass on an information, right? Designers basically communicate. That's all we do, right? We now use the different tools that are available at our disposal to pass on information, right?
Yes.
Okay, so now
Right.
Yes, sir.
I am going to give you now the career opportunities for designers, right? I would like to make use of a chat here, so please give me a moment. Okay, I think network seems to be on our side tonight. Okay, can we see this one right here? Hello, is anybody there? If you can hear me, say hi, please. Hello? If you can hear me, say hi. If you can hear me, say hi.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I don't know why. It's as though I just said network and the thing just woke up.
Okay, I can see it now.
Can you hear me now?
Somebody's sniffing. Is anybody crying?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, sorry. Network seems to be.
Sorry,
Someone seems to be crying. Someone is crying.
Nobody's crying.
No, I'm having kata. I'm having kata. It's me. Sorry.
He's crying because of the network.
Okay. Okay, sorry about it. Okay, and this chat isn't really doing what I want it to do, so I'll find another one, right? So, like, there are quite a couple of opportunities for graphic designers. Okay, let me just talk, okay? So, graphic designers get to work in different places, right? Right. So, almost every brand on earth, right? Every single brand on earth must make use or must require the services of a graphic designer. Whether you're in the automotive industry or you're in pharmaceutical industry, whichever way, right? So now graphic designers get to work in different places, and I'll be mentioning a few of them, right? Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So there are basically different kinds of positions that they are given or they are called. So we start with a creative director, art director, package designer, brand identity developer, art production manager, visual image developer, broadcast designer, logo designer, visual journalist, interface designer, illustrator, the guys that draw, content developer, multimedia developer, web designer. So there are lots of them, right? So it's not just in one place. Now, there is basically there's basically yes, you can drop your questions here, but not yet, because we have a lot to do first. When we get to the point of your Q&As, I'm reading the chat now, sorry. When we get to the point of your Q&A, we will talk about that, okay? So I'm trying to rush as much as possible, right? I hope to end this class at least by 9:30, right? So now, yeah, thank you, welcome. So basically there are now a starting salary here in Nigeria, a starting salary of at least 100,000 naira, right? If you work as an in-house designer, if you are employed as an in-house designer in any firm or institution, the starting salary of at least 100,000 naira. Now, if you're a freelance designer, you have more control over what you get to do or who you get to work with, right? But the problem there is most designers or most freelancers aren't so or well versed in the aspect of getting clients or getting paid what they're worth, right? So you now find out that there are people who get to be paid 1,000 naira, maybe 2,000 naira or 1K. So yesterday, the people that were with me on the test run, the live test run, I was trying to explain why I was actually why I'm actually holding this class, right? So I was talking about like the high rate of unemployment in Nigeria specifically. So we find that there are a lot of there's an increase, there's a rise, right, in the rate of crime. You find people who jump into crime because they feel that Nigeria has nothing to offer them, or they have nothing to offer Nigeria, or that they're not employable, or the excuse that can you hear me? My system says my network
Yes, sir.
is unstable. Okay.
Yes, I can hear you.
Please let me know when you stop hearing you, okay?
All right, sir.
Okay, so basically,
Yes,
you find people jumping into different things and everything. So some of us that we even heard like of somebody that has that was caught doing what they do, that was arrested in Dubai and taken to the United States and is being prosecuted. I not call anybody's name. So we find that those people or this particular person is now a mockery of the society, has even tainted the name of the Nigerian society or Nigerians specifically. So you now find out that there are countries which are now blacklisting Nigeria as a corrupt country, reducing the rates of. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, network is like such a mess tonight, like for real.
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, let's just trust God that we get to finish on time. So I'll rush this so we get to do more important things. So basically, why I'm doing this is because I believe I believe that I tasted firsthand what it means not to have, what it means to depend on someone for your daily as well. Can you guys still hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello guys, sorry. Network is like seriously disturbing me. If you can hear me, please say hi. Hello, if you can hear me, say hi, please.
Yeah.
Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can.
Yes,
we
sir.
can.
You're breaking.
I'm really, really sorry. Like I can't really move because I'm using my laptop. So um, okay, fine. So I'm doing this because
Chris, I think you should leave the sharing of the videos for now. You can just discuss with the audios. I think that
okay,
would do. This work is
okay,
bad. Yeah.
okay. We can just talk. Then when we get to the practicals, we can switch to the
When
videos.
necessary, can use the video.
Okay, fine. Okay,
Yes,
fine.
sir.
So why I am doing this is basically because I am trying to help, right? If I can, my goal is
Yes, sir.
basically to help at least 100 people. I am not trying to do something that is an oversight, right? Or trying to overdo myself. My goal is basically to help at least 100 people be able to do what I am doing and earn as much as I am earning, right? Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
So now, there are basically two types or two categories of graphic designers, right? Who get to work in different places. So we have the freelancers, right? And we have the in-house designers. Are you there?
Yes.
So we have the
Yeah, I
Can
think.
you
freelancers.
hear
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, so we have the freelancers and we have the in-house graphic designers. So I'll start with the freelancers. So freelancers are basically, if you're a freelancer, it means you're just working on your own.
Yes.
You're your own boss. So people get to hire you for different services, right? And you get to determine um, how much you charge and how much they pay you for that service, right? Are you there?
Yeah,
We
yeah.
didn't hear you.
Okay,
I didn't
okay.
hear you.
Okay, I'll come again. I said freelancers, right, are basically guys or people who are hired for their skill, right? You can work with different people, right? You get to work on different projects. You get to choose the rates, the time that you can work for, right? And um, you get okay, fine. You have more control over the projects that you get to work with over the time that you can spend on a project or the time you get to work on certain things, right? So it's fun, and you get to get more experience in a couple of things. But the downside to this is basically the fact that the work might not be so stable, right? At the rates at which you get hired or the rates at which you get projects that you can work on are not so much stable, right? So you get to find to you get and it affects a lot of people, right? You a graphic designer and you're waiting for client trying to find a way, you won't do ads and every other thing, and maybe when you eventually find the kind client on you, it's quite difficult, right, to get them to pay you a premium price or pay you something that is worth your time. Now, if you are an in-house designer, right, you get to work specifically for a specific brand. Are you there?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
So if you're an in-house designer, you get to work
Yeah, yeah.
specifically for a particular brand. So the brand, now, if let's take for instance, you get to work for First Bank Nigeria or maybe Coca-Cola, right? You only get to work on advertising designs or specifically the materials that help to aid Coca-Cola's growth or communication or marketing services. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so now the upside to it is basically that the payment is stable, right? You know that at the end of the month you're getting 150,000 naira, right?
Yes, sir.
So, sorry guys, hold on. I need to check on something. Just give me a minute, okay?
Okay.
Okay, guys, I'm back. Are we still here?
Okay. Yes, sir. Welcome.
Okay, thank you. Sorry,
Yeah.
they kind of
You're
like brought the line,
here.
so I had to like do changeover. So the upside of being an in-house designer is basically the fact that payment is constant, right? You know that at the end of the month you're getting 150,000 naira, you're getting 200,000 naira plus the bonuses that the company or the brand is going to give you, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you just know that the payment is constant. There's never going to be a breach in the agreement. Now, secondly, you get to have more experience in a specific field, right? Take for instance, you work with a manufacturing company or probably a packaging, a printing press, right? So you get to do much more of advertising. Like you go like waist deep or even head deep into advertising. You get to like experience or understand more of visual design, right? So it's just something that really gives you much more experience, right? A much broader scope of what you're actually trying to do. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
So now we're done with the overview, right? So we're going to talk about a couple of things, and we're going to be going into graphic design specifically, right? We're going to be talking about the elements, right? The basics of design. So how many of us watched the video that I sent, so I know how to like proceed? Hello?
I didn't.
You did, okay.
I couldn't watch it.
Okay, that's fine. So it's very important because some of the things
I downloaded it.
you downloaded them. Okay, it's important that you go back to. Okay, Manuel says he did. Okay, great. So it's important that you go back to that video, right?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Chawaka says, can you be an exclusive designer, that's an in-house designer for a company, and at the same time, says, can you be an exclusive designer for a company and at the same time be a freelancer, right? Okay, so it depends, right? It depends. You can actually do that, right? But it depends on your agreement. First of all, it depends on your agreement with the company, right? There are companies that do not allow you to like focus on any other project. They just want you specifically for themselves. Okay, so if you maybe breach that agreement and try to like take on side projects and they find out, it might lead to like them sacking you. Okay.
Okay.
Now on the other hand, even if they allow you, you can do your own side project and every other thing. You might find that you might be too busy to even take on another side project. Maybe it's just something small. Like personally for me now, I know I go to work in the morning, right? From 8 a.m. till like 5 p.m. in the evening. I come back, I have my bath immediately, and I keep working. I keep working till at least 12 or 1 a.m. in the next day, right? So I get busy, maybe give or take 3 or 4 or 5 hours sleep, and I wake up again and I'm off again. So you find that I sometimes it's difficult for me to like juggle different projects. So someone can bring work and I'm like, oh, I'm too tired up. I'd have to like maybe give it out to someone else to like work on. So it just all depends on the contract or the agreement you have with the brand or the company, right? If like, okay, you can work for us and you can do whatever you want to do by the side, then fine. Yes, the screen is blank. So it says the screen is blank. Yes, it's blank because we're trying to avoid network glitches. So because it keeps going off and everything, so we're trying to like stabilize the network, right? So we're going to be talking about the basics of design now, right? So we would be starting first with
Okay.
we'll starting first with sorry, I'm trying to flip my notes.
Okay.
Are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Just give me a moment, please. Linda, you're here. I don't know if you can hear us now. Can you hear us now?
I can.
Okay. Network is breaking, but I think she's saying that she can hear us. Okay, great. That's cool. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna like discuss the basics of graphic design. So we're gonna start with typography, right?
Okay.
So now, the first of all, the basics are just basically it's like a foundation, things that you're supposed to know, right? Things that you're supposed to
Yes,
know
sir.
before you like jump into any design at all. Before you can actually call yourself a designer, it helps you, it guides you, right? Not to make mistakes. So like prior to this class, some of us chatted me up and showed me some designs that they had made, and they were like, is it fine, is it okay, and every other thing. And then there are some of us that are still here, that are designers here too, that are still like struggling with some of these things. Maybe you're making a design, you have a good mental picture of what you want your design to look like, right? But you can't quite bring it out to, you can't like bring it to manifest on your screen or whichever software or lab or device you're using to like design. So now if you know the basics, right, it helps you to avoid making certain mistakes, right? You know that this color and this color do not match, right? So you cannot combine it in the same design. It helps you to know what kind of color you're supposed to use for what part or what kind of design, right? You have what do we call it? You know colors that are good for food, that are good for food, colors that are good for sports, colors that are good for playful or fun activities, colors that are for corporate designs, and a couple of other things, right? So now color basically helps us to the basics actually helps us to just like make good and accurate designs. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So now we talk about typography, right? Typography is basically text, the use of text, right? To like basically pass on information to pass on information or communicate. So we find out that like now sometimes there are designs that you make and it will not totally be complete, or people will not necessarily like understand what you're trying to say if you don't add text, right? So I'm looking at this, but I don't know what you're trying to say. Until you now add text to it, I can now basically say, okay, okay, that's what you're trying to say, right? Then we'll move on to, so now basically typography, there are a lot of, there are different kinds of typography. We have the serif fonts, we have the sans serif fonts, we have the, oh, not so clear in my head right now, but the video is gonna help, okay? So now now we have color, right? So now color basically helps us to see things, right? All around us is color, right? For you to be able to see certain things around you is basically color, right? The interpretation of the interpretation your mind or your brain gives, right? As like now maybe you're looking at a cup, right? And there's light shining on it. So your mind or your brain interprets the color of that cup based on the amount of light or the kind of light that cup gives away. So if the room is dark and you can't see the cup, right? You don't know what color it is. But until you like shed light on it, you can basically say, okay, this is what this is, right? So I would not like So color basically helps us to like basically identify things, give more meaning or depth to things, and the rest of them. So we move on to what next? Layout, right? Layout is basically, I think that I need you to like really, really, really listen. We following?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. We're following.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So layout, right? Layout and composition, right? That's the next basic element of design. Layout and composition, right? Layout is basically the arrangement, right, of the elements in a design, right? It could be font, it could be typography, it could be pictures, it could be shapes, it could be abstract elements and every other thing. But the way you arrange those things in such a way that somebody can actually look at them, right? And basically be able to say, will be able to basically be able to understand what information you're trying to pass across is what makes your design beautiful, right? Coupled with color and everything. But if it is not arranged properly, I don't know what to look at first. I don't know what to look at last. My eyes keeps scanning, right? And I might even get confused. I might even get confused in what I am actually trying to make. Are we following? Are we following?
His logo is around. He's there.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Sorry. Someone's calling me, and I think that's what disrupting my network. So
Oh.
the way you arrange the elements on your page and your design basically helps other people understand what you're trying to say. Okay? So we move on to what next?
I did not get that. I did not get that.
I said
Me too.
the way you arrange, right? The elements,
Yes, sir.
the elements in your design, right? Helps people to understand what to look at first. Are we there?
Okay.
What to look
Yes,
at
sir.
Yeah.
first. What to look at first.
Yeah.
So you know that, okay, you can look at, like, this is the title, then the next thing to look at is probably the body or the copy, right? What the program is about, the date, the venue, the whatever other inquiries or probably other information that are on the design that the person needs to see, right? So you just follow up with the next thing. So that's what layout is. The way you arrange them, the way you place them, the style, the pattern, everything is basically your layout and your composition, right? So we've talked about color, we've talked about typography, we've talked about layout and composition. Now we're now talking about shape and line. Are we there?
Sorry,
Yes,
you
sir.
said layout and composition. You only touched on layout.
Okay. Now composition, right? I actually mixed both of them together. Composition is basically what you're looking at, right? What your design is made up of, right? Are you following?
Okay.
Composition is basically what your design is made up of, like what you're looking at, pictures, elements, and everything, the way it's styled and everything. Now, take for instance, how many of us have seen Avengers Infinity War?
Everybody.
Everybody. Okay. I don't know what that means. I cannot have seen it, but
Seen what?
fine.
Sorry, seen what?
Finish.
How many of us have seen Avengers Infinity War?
Okay, I've seen it.
We have said it.
Okay, I've seen it.
Okay, fine. So, and I'm guessing we've all seen the posters too, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Eh?
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you guys hear me? We've seen the poster, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay, great. So now in the poster, basically what you can see, the way they arrange the pictures, probably you can see Thanos first, you get to see Captain Marvel, you get to see Iron Man, you get to see Captain America, you get to see Thor and the rest of them. The way it is arranged, such and the fact that you get to see everybody's layout, right? Now, everybody there, like everything in that flyer is now the composition.
Okay.
Okay. Now that's
Okay.
that's the composition. Everything that you get to see, everything that is in that design is the composition of that poster, right? Yeah, whether you're using fonts, using pictures, you're using shapes and everything, they are the composition. It is what comprises of that design. Now the way you
That
now
means composition is design itself.
yes, it's part of design, right? Composition is your ability to like put things together and basically pass on an information. That was why I said it's quite important. Now, the way you now arrange the elements, right? The composition of that design, right? The way you now arrange that element, the composition of that design is basically your layout.
Yeah.
Your layout.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Okay.
So for the graphic designers that are here
I
now, that are probably the graphic designers-ish, that mention that they're a graphic designer, but they're not so skilled. Now, that is why sometimes your design does not work, right? You probably might not have arranged your elements in a proper way, in such a way that someone sees something first, right? And sees another thing next, and every other thing. So we now have what we now call hierarchy. Right? Are we following?
Yeah.
Hierarchy.
Yes.
So hierarchy is basically like the order of things, like literally the order of things. So you basically can use certain things or certain elements.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Someone says something.
Yes, sir. Please come back. Come again.
So like we're talking about hierarchy. Hierarchy is basically the arrangement, the order of things, right? What you see first to what you see last in a design. Did you get that?
But
Did you get that?
Yeah, we did.
Okay, good. So now, basically, sorry?
The name now.
Hello?
Can you
guys hear me?
The most important to the list.
Something went wrong. Please try it again.
Okay. So yes, from the most important thing to the least important thing in the design, right? So like now, maybe you make a flyer, right? About maybe 2020 World Cup, right? So and you now go and highlight the dates, right? The dates, they make the dates biggest, and now go to the bottom and write World Cup 2020 in a very small or tiny way, right? So it means in that order. It means in that order, right? Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Chris, come back. Start from hierarchy.
Okay.
Yeah, we stopped at hierarchy.
Okay.
I'm sure
so I said, right? Hierarchy is basically the order of things, the arrangement, the order of things, the most important to the least. Are we following?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the most important to the least. Right now, in design or in a flyer or in a poster, whichever thing that you make, you most likely make the most important thing bigger. Right? Take for instance, you're talking about World Cup 2020. You're making a flyer or an ad for World Cup 2020. Right? There's going to be the date, the venue, the participating countries, and every other thing. And if you now go and maybe make a specific country and say, okay, Nigeria, right? And you now make World Cup 2020 that is supposed to be like the main title of the program, the least or the smallest, right? People get to see Nigeria first. And that itself is an error, right? So people that get to see the flyer will not really know what you're talking about. Okay, Nigeria what, right? They get to see a lot of things, sporty things or pictures or images in the design, but they don't know what you're actually trying to talk about, right? But in a flip side, when you now make World Cup 2020, right, and now followed by Nigeria, right? We now know that, oh, World Cup 2020, where is it holding? Oh, in Nigeria. Do you understand? That's exactly what hierarchy does in design. Do you understand? So you make, if you make the biggest thing, right? You make the most important thing the biggest, followed by in size, followed by the next thing, followed by the next thing, followed by the next thing, right? So to just create what we call a visual tension, right? So we know exactly what to look at, and that helps in movement, right? If your design is not arranged properly, now that's going back to, we're going back to layout composition. Now, if you don't arrange your design in such a way that I know what to look at first, right? And what to look at second, what to look at third, and where my eyes should move at. So the design is actually off. Okay, so we'll now talk about images, right? Images are basically like, now most of us, there are a lot of things that we use in design, right, to like make amazing things, or cool stuff that we get to use, or flyer, or to communicate, right? So we have certain, we can use illustrations and images. So you take, for instance, now you're talking about a health seminar, a health webinar, whichever one, a health event, and you're now going to carry what should we use now? You're now going to carry maybe food, right? And you pack food, maybe rice and chicken on the flyer. So I now say say no to AIDS, right? Health seminar, say no to AIDS, or whatever, and you now put chicken. So people are going to be confused. They want to understand what's going on. How is rice and chicken the AIDS, or there's something else that we're missing, right? So a good image helps you to illustrate, right? To pass across the correct information. If you use a wrong image, right, you get to pass on the wrong information. So people will most likely people are most likely not going to understand what you are talking about. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, fine. So now there are other principles, right? Principles, we had what I just mentioned now are basic elements of design. But then there are principles of design. So what I'll do is basically to just mention them, right? I'm not going to dive into them because most likely it's going to take almost all of our time.
Okay? Sorry to cut you short. What about shape and line?
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I think did I skip that?
Yes, you did.
Okay, sorry. Okay, fine. So shape and line, right? Shape basically helps us to like really identify what something is, right? Now, who can define a circle? Who knows what a circle is? Who can give us a shot? Who knows? Who knows? Does anybody know?
Circle, like a ball.
Yeah.
Round.
Somebody said round. Okay.
Like a ball, no?
So
your mother's cooking pot.
Yeah. Okay, fine. So a circle is basically an enclosed system, right? It starts from one point and keeps going on. It's an infinite system. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Please, can we reduce the noise so I can like finish up, right? Time is not on our side. We're supposed to end this by 9:30 and it's 9:22 now. Please.
Okay.
So basically a shape is an enclosed system, right? It's an infinite system. It keeps going on and on and on and does not have an end, right? While a line is basically the distance between
2 points.
2 points. Okay. So now shape basically helps us to identify what certain things are, right? So you have your mobile phone with you now. So you can say your mobile phone has the shape, has a rectangular shape, right?
Yeah.
So basically, you can answer that shape almost gives form, right? Illustrates the depth and the size of different things. Now,
Yeah.
a line is what makes up a shape, right? Almost everything, even you as a person, you have lines, right? Whether symmetrical or asymmetrical lines.
Asymmetrical.
Okay, so that's basically in the most simplest form, right? What shape and line does in design. So you can use a shape like to basically illustrate certain things, probably balance, the weight of something, and every other thing. Okay, I'm actually rushing because I'm trying to like see if I can finish everything that I have to talk about tonight. So the principles of design. Right now, these principles are basically things that you observe. In as well, you've known the basics, right? You've understood how the different things that makes up a design. But the principles are basically what holds you to the ground, like the rules and regulations of a design, right? If you make a design, it must obey these rules and regulations. Texture. Yes, texture is just passive. Texture is basically, someone said texture. Yes, texture is basically part of I think line. Yeah, line. Texture basically helps us to illustrate the depth, right? The depth of or gives depth to an object, or basically to understand the depth of something. Like take for instance now, people that draw, the artists that you see that make paintings by the roadside, right? Or make paintings online, right? They use texture to like illustrate how deep something is, or the boldness of something, or to like basically tell you what this thing looks like. Sorry? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, I can hear you.
So please,
Yeah, I can hear you.
if you're not following, please, it's for your own best interest that you just say, I'm not following. Please let me know, okay? So I can just like touch up where you don't understand. So thank you, Emmanuel, for that reminder. So back to the principles of design, we have pattern, right? Like the way we have pattern, we have emphasis or dominance, we have balance, we have proportion, we have harmony. Can you hear me? Am I moving too fast?
Yeah.
Okay. Principles of design, right? The first one is pattern. The second one is emphasis or dominance, right? Now,
Okay.
the third one is balance.
The first one is what?
The first one is pattern. Second one is
Pattern.
emphasis
or dominance.
Or dominance, yes. The third one is balance, right? The fourth one is, the third one is balance. The fourth one is proportion, right? The fifth one is harmony. The fifth one is harmony. The sixth is movement, right?
Okay.
The seventh is hierarchy. We talked about that, hierarchy. The eighth is repetition. Okay.
8 is what?
8 is repetition. So beside harmony, you can write what we call, because I will mention that probably in the subsequent classes, what we call I think it's a Swedish word, gestalt, but it's spelled as G-E-S.
Repetition.
Gestalt principle. G-E-S. I'll type it into the chat box so you get to hear, so I don't make mistakes. Gestalt principle. Right? But it's pronounced Gestalt principle, right? So I'll talk more about that when we're talking about harmony, right?
Okay.
Okay. So I want to dive straight into what I I've made tonight,
Number
right?
8. Sorry.
Number eight is hierarchy repetition. Repetition, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I will share my screen briefly. If network allows us, I will start afresh and make the design. If it doesn't, I will just explain what I did. Okay, and why I did what I did. And I might also touch on some of these principles to illustrate what I'm talking about. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay, now so you're about to see my screen. Let me know if you can. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yup.
So now,
Okay.
let me. What
Yeah, I
can
can
you
see it.
say?
Wow.
What can you say? What can you say?
Wow.
Get extra with wow.
Get extra with wow.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So now
Design
this
is
is
wow.
basically now I am going to like try to explain some of the principles. All right. Why I made this way. I actually made this evening. Like I wasn't thinking. I was just I was trying to find the best way because there were a lot of I had a lot of options. I had a lot of options of what to make, right? But I wanted something that you guys could like completely relate to. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
It's beautiful.
Okay.
The network is a bit unstable, so if you disconnect, please just hold on.
Yeah, wait.
Okay. So now there are a lot of things here, right? So I'm going to like let you guys in. Now, rules aside. Okay? Rules aside. I said rules aside. Like forget just rules aside. We're going to put the rules aside for a minute.
Okay.
Okay. So now, whenever I try to do something, right? I first of all try to understand what the client or what the design is supposed to like, or what the client wants to communicate, or who he wants to communicate it to. Okay. So I try to understand who is trying to communicate it to, what their environment says, like the things that they can relate to, right? So now, so that is why you get to see the clothes that are hanging here.
Okay.
Right? Do you understand? So it's something that helps you, it's an element that helps you to like basically relate to the design that just catches your eyes. It feels familiar, right? It feels more at home, right? It's not like, okay, maybe you are using Oyibo laundry machines and like it will just wash the clothes, iron itself, and maybe probably pack itself in your drawer in your closet. All right, so this is more at home, our normal. There is no hiding. You put it inside your bucket, and you just start washing. Once you finish, you gotta look for line. If you don't find line, you look for grass. Okay. so basically, this it makes you feel more at home, right? So now another thing is color, right? Colors that radiate brightness, that radiates joy, that radiates some sort of playfulness, right? So now in this background, you can see it's as though it's sunny, a bit daytime, right? A bit bright. Do you understand? To like say, okay, fine. This when you're washing, like we don't wash at night. I expect our clothes to just automatically dry at night, although it dries at night. But then when we normally wash is during the daytime when we know the sun is going to help us dry our clothes. Okay? Are we there? Can you hear me? If you can hear me, please indicate. Are we there? Are we there? Hello, are we there? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yes,
We can hear
sir.
you. Continue.
Okay. So I'm going to just explain, okay? So what I'll do is once I'm done, I'm going to redo this. I'm going to share a tutorial video explaining exactly what I am doing. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm going to I'm going to share it on the group chat so you can just practice by yourself. Okay?
Thank you.
All right.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to share my screen again now so we can finish up. Okay, can you see my screen now? Can you see my screen? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, you can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
Yes.
Okay, very good. So now another reason why I chose this color, right, is basically because it's part of the brand color. Now, if we can zoom in, right? My system is a bit slow. A lot of things are happening at the same time. So just hold on.
Okay.
So like if you can look, if you're looking at what's on your screen currently, you'd see that there's a brown hair, right?
Yes.
On the logo itself. So now whenever you're making something, the
Yes.
colors has to be consistent with the brand's has to be consistent with what the brand color is, right? Some companies when you're designing for them give you a brand, what we call a brand system or brand guide, right? That lets you know what you must always add to your design so that if it's not there, right, it means it's not completely representing them. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So which is exactly why I use this specific
Okay.
color. Now, so coming down to some of these principles that we've mentioned, right? Now, it's always good to like establish a clear focal point. So I'm going to ask you a question now, right? You're going to help me do something. Okay?
Okay.
Are you there?
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Okay, fine. So you're going to look away from your screen for like a minute. Just look away from your screen, maybe 10 seconds. Let's count. All right, look away from your screen. All right, are we ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
10,
Yes, sir.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now look at your screen. Are you looking at your screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
What's the first thing you see?
The clothes.
Wow.
The colors.
Background. Clothes.
You see everything. Okay, fine. Someone's audio is making noise. There are people in your background. Please move away from there. So what I expected you to say is, well, I placed all this together, so most likely it might be a bit confusing for you. But the most important thing you're supposed to see here is, or the first thing you're supposed to see here is, your eyes are supposed to see is this get extra.
Wow. Extra. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this.
It's the first thing that your eyes is probably, yes, everything is maybe is all in your face, so but you don't really like recognize. But the first thing your eye sees is this, right? So whenever you're making a design, you're most likely supposed to have a clear focal point, right? That a focal point is basically the first thing, right, that people get to see in your design. Most times it's always going to be your title, right? Then the next thing is basically the next element that you would like people to see. So which is most likely going to be this. Are we there?
What's that?
With you.
Okay, so the next thing you see is this. right? So after you've seen this, the next thing you now see is this. Okay, are we there?
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
so
Can
now
you specify? You're saying this is right?
okay. So basically now so now whenever you're done with every design, so there are different strategic places that you place your design, right? Which is basically you place certain elements. Now, so something like the logo, which is this, right, is always somewhere maybe here, right, or here, or here, but never here,
Yes.
right? And I will tell you
Okay.
why. So it's either now but most times logos in our country support that it starts here, right? Depending on where your focal point or your focal element is. Like if this now is here, right? It means your logo has to be somewhere here. So it doesn't like distract whoever it is that because the person has to see something first. It doesn't distract the person from like knowing what he's supposed to look at. So if the logo is here, right, and your element is here, right, it's balanced. So I know that my eyes enters your design. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
My eyes enters your design through the left. So in our country here in Nigeria, we read from left to right, right? So
Yeah.
it's assumed, it's correct to know to say that okay, we enter or we look at anything or we assess anything from the left, the top left, more specifically. So we read from the top left to the bottom right, right? We start from the bottom
Yes,
left
sir.
Yes.
and we leave the design from the bottom right.
Right.
Okay, so which is why your logo can either be here, right? And if maybe your element or your focal element is here, right? We now assume that okay, after reading this, I will read from left to where? Right. Do you understand? So after I have seen your focal element, if it is here, that is if it is here only, then where next I'm supposed to look is right. So it means after seeing the focal element, I also get to see your logo or whichever the title of the program, or maybe a subtitle, a subheading of the program should be somewhere around here, right? And if by any chance you don't get to put them here, right? You don't want me to see the logo first, right? So after seeing and reading every other element, every other uh, information on the design, I am going to most likely exit your design from the bottom right. So which is why you find your logo here. Okay. So we
Okay.
now have
Okay.
what we call footers, right? So at the bottom here, right? You see that there is something here. So I would love to like share more designs. I'm going to share some designs in the group chat later on tonight or tomorrow morning, right? To like illustrate some of these things that I'm saying. Probably a full flyer, right? Why I didn't do a full flyer because I did the time that we're supposed to spend on this would have taken longer. So it's actually 9:42 now. So we should be rounding off. So basically, footers contain maybe the inquiry, the inquiry numbers, the websites, the probably sometimes venue, the logo, right? That's what footers most times always contain. Every other element stays above. Okay.
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 Okay, great. So I think that's it for now or for today. All right.
Okay, sir.
All right, sir.
So I am going to send this flyer to the group chat tonight before I go to bed. So please, this we are also recording this video, all right? So nobody is missing out on anything. Okay. So what if you didn't hear any part of the video or the session or everything, you get to watch and listen to it or say. Okay. So please,
Thank you.
guys,
Okay.
I'm also going to have other classes by next week, right? We'll be making a packaging design, right? I'm here to decide on what might be okay. Probably you guys can vote in the group chat. I get to design the packaging of anything that you guys want to see. Maybe chocolate, maybe this wow detergent, anything at all.
Chocolate.
I know somebody will say chocolate. Okay, fine. We'll get to still decide on the group chat. Okay, I'll start from from scratch, right? Probably that will be this is like basically a foundational class. So yeah, it's fine, Amaka, I understand, it's fine. Seriously. Right after the countdown, sorry. Don't worry, we were recording, so probably I'll share the video, then you can just like follow up where you missed off. Okay, so I'm going to design everything. This is like a foundational class. That's why it took this long. I had to like break down design for you, because if I just jumped in and started designing and you just start watching me, you might get lost, right? Meanwhile, there are some of us that don't have laptops here and everything. So the next class is going to be a live practical class, right? So what's going to happen is I will record the video. Do you understand? Of me designing the packaging, right?
Design.
Yes, I will record a video of me. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
So I record a video of me designing the packaging.
Yes.
So once once we're just talking and everything, as we are like talking, we're watching the video and I'm explaining what I am doing at every point in time. Then after the class again, I will now share the video. All right. So guys, the video for this class is most likely going to be on my YouTube channel. All right, so that you can actually access it for anything you want, like all the time. You can also refer your friends and every other thing. And please, guys, any question?
Principle of design.
Okay.
To give us a video.
Okay. Yeah. That's. I'm going to make a video, right, explaining these principles of design, right? As I'm explaining, I make it like I'm designing and you're watching what I'm designing. All right. So yeah, so we did not abandon that.
Okay.
We did not abandon that. It was just because of time. Okay. So please,
I
guys.
have a question.
Yeah. Sure, I'm listening.
Okay. I don't made mention of it, but I wasn't in, as in my phone went off then. What kind of app do we use to design?
Okay, great question. Great question. Now I'd like to like point out something. All right. First of all, I think as people used to say, or people used to ask questions. Thank you, Manuel. And you too, you don't know what to. So people used to ask this question, which is it better to design with the phone or to design with the laptop, right? And I would say my answer to that question would be the one that is available to you at the moment. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
The one that is available to you at the moment. So like, first of all, like now why I feel like I have a strong foundation in design is basically because I started with my phone. I knew firsthand what it feels like or understand how or where to place certain things, because I worked harder, because it was much more difficult, right, to get to do some certain effects, to make like what you're seeing right here, right? I can still do this on my phone, but it's gonna like take a couple of apps to like get to this point. Okay, so it depends on your mastery or the software or the app. Right now, the problem now most times is someone can look at this and say, how do I start designing something like this? Right now, I'll tell you, as a designer, yes, that's what I'm talking about, Emmanuel. as a designer, you basically, if you're still starting, I'll advise you to copy. Does that sound weird? I'll advise you to copy. Don't.
What if we don't have access to things that can help us copy a designer?
Okay, great. Now, there's this book, I'll share it to the group chat, maybe tonight or tomorrow. It's called Steal Like an Artist. Some of us here might have read it. Steal Like an Artist. You are only, like as a designer, you are only as good as what you can copy or what you can steal. Do you understand? Every designer that you've ever seen, right? Every element you've ever seen in anybody's design or style you've ever seen in anybody's design was copied from somewhere, right? So professional designers, right? Somebody said a good designer is one who knows how to copy 100 people. A bad designer is one who just copies one person. Do you understand? So like you can come and just copy the exact thing that I did here. It means you're now stealing my work. But if you can take some elements in what I have done here, right? Some elements in what I have done here, and some elements in what someone else has done and another person has done, and put them together to still pass on the same information, that makes you a professional designer. There's no two ways about it. Anybody that you see their work today and you say, wow, this design is great, the person copied it from somewhere. Are you hearing me? And it's not bad, right? You cannot give what you don't have. Are you getting me? So there's like there's no rocket science to it, there's no magic to it. You cannot give what you don't have. So yes, Aprenso. So it says so a professional designer is a copycat. Wow, yes, a professional designer is a copycat, right? So what a designer does is basically he goes and he gets different materials, right? He comes, like maybe he comes to a particular design and he likes the layout, how it's arranged. Do you understand? How that design is arranged. He likes how it's arranged. He takes that arrangement from the design. He goes on that another one and he loves the color, right? The colors that they use in that design. He takes the color, right? He goes to another one. He now sees, okay, the pattern or the kind of fonts that they use in that design. He takes the font, right? And he now comes and puts these three things together in a unique way, and it now comes out as a new design. So when you now see it, you're like, wow, this is so cool, but this person actually copied someone. Now, something also happens, something very interesting also happens. Like when you've copied people over time, you can get to a point where you no longer need to like really look at another person's work, right? Ideas of combinations of how you can actually combine certain things together keep coming to your mind, right? So before you, and that's exactly how I made this, right? I've looked at like a dozen designs since today, trying to like find out exactly what to like make for you guys, right? So I tried and tried and tried. I don't know whether this can allow me to like see what the next document is. Hold on. Okay, fine. So I was on this, I was trying to make something else, right? But I wasn't so impressed with what I was doing already. So I moved away from this. Okay. So hold on. Now this is a class I'm going to organize in a couple of weeks. I'm still working on that. Hold on. Now, this is some of us that have been seeing my status and everything. This is the design that I made for my church, our devotionals. So basically, all these things are basically a summary of a layout of me putting things together to bring out a new design. So you don't just sit down one place and by reason of anointing, right? You start downloading from the spiritual realm, which you can. So and you start designing things and you just start manifesting on your laptop. No, if you don't feed your mind, if you don't download resources, if you don't look at designs, if you don't save them, trust me, you come to your laptop and you will not know what to design. That's just the whole truth. So a designer, first of all, before a designer starts a design, he researches, right? That's what research is. You research, you find materials, you find layouts and everything, and you put them together to bring out a new design. So for someone that is a novice, or for someone that is still starting out in design, I'll advise you to copy, right? Now, where can you copy? I think that's the question Amaka was asking, right? Hello, are you there?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, so the question was, where can you copy from? How do you find materials? Where can you copy from? Okay, so
no, sorry to cut you short. I was asking where what app we can use.
Yeah, I'm coming to
create...
that. I'm coming to that. Okay. So basically, now you can find resources anywhere, right? There are a lot of designers on Instagram, right? Like take me for instance, right? I'm still going to send the link to my I'm going to type in the link to my Instagram handle, right? Probably just my Instagram handle here. Can you guys see?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
You're sending it to the group chat, right?
Yes, I also send it to the group chat, but just for you guys there, right? So that's my Instagram handle. You can follow me and you get to see my work. I post, not all, but I post my projects there and every other thing. So guys, I want us to like, one thing before I move forward. Since I decided that since I'm going to help 100 people, I want it to be something that is official, right? I want you to like begin to develop the mindset of a designer, right? It's possible for you to make at least the very least 50,000 naira a month, right? It is very, very possible. It is very, very achievable, right? And by God's grace, that's what I'm going to be showing you guys on this journey. Okay, I'm not only going to like be teaching you guys graphic design. I'm also going to be teaching you the business of design, right? How you get to make money and make a sustainable living off this whole thing, right? So please, I think it's the best thing you can ever do for yourself, right? As a person, right? And for your friends. I'm still going to, probably going to make the Telegram group chat open, right? After this class, I'm going to make it open. I'm going to share the link, right? So anybody can join. So please, you can tell your friends and everything, right? You're going to be making a lot of designs and everything. And I'm going to be inviting some of the top designers in Nigeria specifically, right? That are going to like be coming on these live sessions with us. They're going to be talking to us. They're going to be designing with us, right? Showing and giving to us what they know for free, right? So all you can do for yourself is basically make yourself available. If we put out a material, right? Some of our flyers and everything, please try to like share it around so you can help your friends, because I think if we can collectively get other young people involved, right? Empower them to like really do meaningful things, our society is going to get better, right? Yes. So let's not all just be like selfish and everything. So moving forward, where was I? So where you can get ideas, inspiration from, right? Instagram, like you can follow different pages, right? If you're into church graphics, like want to make design for graphics, follow church pages, follow churches that make cool and amazing designs. You can follow us at Kingdom Diplomats NG. Thank you. Then you can also you can also check out other churches that have cool designs that you can actually learn or copy from, right? Then if you're into advertising designs, right, you can follow pages on Instagram that have cool, amazing graphics. Dato Nigeria, Nivea Nigeria, the couple of them. But most importantly, where I get some of my inspiration from is from Pinterest, right? Pinterest. I think I'll type that down. Okay. I typed that down for some of us that cannot pronounce it. Pinterest. Right? Pinterest was basically created for specifically for creatives, for people that create things, right? For you to get all your ideas into one place, right? You get inspired on a daily. They don't do any other thing, they just inspire you. They show you different, if you're interested in fashion, they show you different fashion trends, clothing and everything. You're interested in graphic design, they show you different things. So the ideas that I get, most of my ideas, at least for the past 6 or 7 months now, have all been coming from Pinterest. It's a powerful resource, right? You get to see a lot of things there. Okay. So you have Facebook too, right? Now another way you can grow, right? We're also going to be making our Facebook group open. Like we're going to be holding competitions, right? We're going to be sharing some free materials that are going to help you stand on your feet as a graphic designer. So I'm also going to share the link to that Facebook group or Facebook page. Please go and like it. It's going to really help you, because most times I may not really be able to come and start chatting with you one-on-one on Telegram, right? But on Facebook, I get to post anything. I get to reply your comments as soon as possible. Now, a point will come where, like, not everybody can be able to like come on Zoom. Like, I think some of us it has consumed like quite a reasonable or sizable amount of data for some of us here. Abi?
No, not at all.
Also, okay, fine. But some of us that are basically on the managing side of life, right? It has really consumed data. And plus Zoom can only, sorry. Plus Zoom can only accommodate like a certain number. For this basic plan, the number is 100 people, right? So, and when it's 100 people, it's when we have network issues like this, it's always difficult. So the plan is basically to like in subsequent times to start streaming on Facebook, right? You get to see us live, you get to see the things that we do live, so you don't have to like really pay. You're just on your Facebook app and everything. And Facebook has the feature that allows you to like leave the video to play on screen while you're doing other things with your mobile phone. So it's very, very important. I, by God's grace, really hope that this works and this really helps everybody that gets in contact with this. Okay, now coming to the aspect of the softwares, right? What I'm using now is I use the Adobe suite. I use Adobe Illustrator, Adobe Photoshop, and Adobe InDesign. That is basically most of the softwares you're going to use or need on PC. At least it is the standard softwares that you're going to use on your laptop. Now, for those of us that are using mobile phones, right? I suggest Canva, right? The flyer design that I made for. Okay. That's what I listed now, Emmanuel. Adobe Photoshop CC 2018 and above, if you're going to download. Both Adobe Illustrator CC 2018 and above, Adobe InDesign 2020. Okay. Now I am going to be doing something amazing for every one of us that has attended this class tonight, right? So you're going to like chat me up privately. I am going to give you a full link, right, to where you can download these softwares from. That's one. Two, where you can learn how to use these softwares from start to finish. Like they break it down and all for free. How to use Photoshop from start to finish.
Thank you.
Like,
thank you.
Adobe Illustrator, Adobe InDesign, Adobe Photoshop. Right? That's the gift I'm giving you guys for like staying back up to this point.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're very welcome. So now, for those of us that are using mobile devices, right, you can make amazing designs. So by the time we break down these designs,
thank you so much.
You're welcome. By the time we start, we break down these things subsequently. You can be able to design with your phone without having any issues. But the truth is, this truth remains, right? Mobile phones are limited. There is only so much that you can do with your phone. All right. So something like this that is on our screen here will be very difficult for you to make on your phone. But I'm suggesting 2 apps, right? Canva and PicsArt, right? The 2 in combination. And I'm going to show you in subsequent class. Probably will make a class specifically for that, of how you can make designs on Canva and PicsArt, or with Canva and PicsArt at the same time. Okay. Any other question before we round off?
Sorry, you. Okay. About the Adobe Audition and the rest of the app. So sorry, software you mentioned for laptops.
Yes.
The last time I had a similar class to this, they gave us the link to download the software.
Yeah.
But my own was having issue. I don't know if you can give us like a step by step on how to download it.
Okay. What's gonna happen? Like, I think the problem might have been probably like now. Take for instance, Photoshop, right? You get to download some of them, and your system or your operating system might be operating. Your operating system might be operating at a 32-bit rate, right, or at a 64-bit rate. That's one issue, right? Are you there?
Yeah.
So your system might actually be operating.
I didn't get that. I didn't get that.
I said, like now, for instance, right? Your system, right, might be operating on a 32-bit rate. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And it can contribute to why sometimes the software will not install in your system if you downloaded the version that does not support the bit rate. Probably you downloaded a 64-bit version, right?
Okay.
Instead of a 32-bit version that your laptop uses. All right. Now the link I'm going to share, right? When you click on the download link, it's going to take you to a place that just step by step tells you how you're going to install. It always comes with an installation manual, right?
Okay.
All right, that is installation guide. So once you find it, please just search for it. It's always there. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other question?
It consumes the data, Abby?
Yes. It's at least the list size it should be at least 2 gigabytes. So please make sure you just have enough, at least 4 gig, so that you can download and use for your system. It's just a one-time sacrifice that you're going to make to like just use it forever and make money. So I don't think it's too much.
The Adobe Illustrator. I said, are we downloading it through the system or through our phone directly?
Through your system.
I mean, this app.
Through your for the laptop, right? You're going to download it through your laptop. Yes, you're going to download it through your laptop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank
you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
So guys, thank you all. Thank you all for like coming. I am so happy. So I'm going to share the flyer for the next class, maybe in the next 2 or 3 days. So please, guys, whenever you see it, invite your friends, tell everybody, and everything. You're welcome, Miso. God bless you too. God bless you, Mr. Princewell. God bless you, Chamaka. You're welcome. You're all welcome. Thank you for coming. Ending the live class now.